This is the Bornean Rainforest, a tropical island filled with incredible colors. Here, there are rare species that dazzle in the forest floor, and those that are fantastic songsters. They come in a stunning range of diversity, and they are almost always dressed in rich and vivid shades. These are the stories of the colorful birds of Borneo. Located in Southeast Asia, Borneo is the third largest island in the world. A diverse range of habitats allow an abundance of species to thrive here. High mountain ranges trap passing rain clouds. In the lowlands, rivers flow through swamps and mangroves. And picturesque streams crisscross the interior. In the heart of Borneo are the legendary rainforests, where ancient and mighty trees reach for the skies. Over 15,000 plant species have been recorded here, more than the entire continent of Africa. The multi-layered forests present a thick green wall that blocks the sunlight. But below this layer of giant leaves lies a secret realm steeped in darkness. A near mythical bird that is rarely seen shuffles its dazzling feathers in the deep forest. This is the Bornean peacock-pheasant, and it is the rarest and the least known of all pheasant species in the world. Those iridescent eye spots on the feathers are known as ocelli, and they seem to appear in varying shades of brilliant blues, greens, and purples. The colors of the ocelli are determined by the angle of the light that falls on them. This is a male, and he will rely on his striking colors to attract a suitable mate. Like all pheasants, this is a ground-dwelling bird, and it spends long periods of time looking for a variety of foods on the forest floor. This male is feeding on fallen seeds and fruits, but its diet can also include insects and worms. The Bornean peacock pheasant is a very secretive bird. As this male moves quietly through the dark foliage, he is an indicator to other species that this is a safe and predator-free zone. Squirrels love to feed side by side with this pheasant. One could wonder if the squirrel is aware that it is in the company of such a rare species. The Bornean peacock pheasant is always alert and always looking for danger. In the shadows, behind the pheasant, is another Bornean endemic bird. With bright orange colors and a distinct white head, it lurks around as it also looks for food. This newcomer is carefully observing the pheasant. Perhaps it is also bedazzled by those stunning colors. This is a white-crowned shama. This bird is only found in the northern lowland and foothill forests of Borneo. Competing males occupy prominent posts on exposed branches as they prepare to sing their melodious songs. These birds know that this is a good feeding spot, so each would love to claim it for themselves. Singing melodies and showing off those bright colors is a good way to show competitors who is the boss here. As one male begins to demonstrate his vocal abilities, another observes him carefully. Sometimes you need to watch and learn from the competition. The shama's unique and wonderful song battles are the soundtrack to many remote forests in northern Borneo. Meanwhile, there is a strangely straggly looking shama on the forest floor. These two young birds are learning to find food together, and one of them is definitely more demanding than the other. The rapid fluttering of the wings is a common behavior amongst young birds as they beg their parents for food. But all that the other shama can do is console the youngling with a lovely, soft melody. Eventually, it leaves and goes off in search for food, and the younger shama stops fluttering its wings and follows. Using the branches to look out for worms and insects on the ground appears to be a good idea. Bingo! A tremendous success. But this shama does not seem too keen to share. Perhaps it would be too cruel to assume that the older bird is being greedy. After all, the best way to teach the younger shama is for it to watch and learn the crucial tactics necessary for surviving in this beautiful but wild land. The shama juvenile is not alone in its struggles. As we travel a little higher into the canopy, we come across a curious looking bird. From the back, it looks like an ordinary forest bird, but every now and then, it gives glimpses of its unique beak. This specialized broad beak is what gives this bird its name. A black and yellow broadbill. The flat bill gives this little bird an advantage in catching insects in the forest canopy. The small and stout body is perfect for flying quickly through the dense branches. Amongst these rainforest greens, there are many hidden sparkles of color, but these are shy creatures like the reclusive and barely seen dire strogon and the aptly named but equally shy scarlet-rumped trogon. Crested tree swifts are much bolder as they sit on their preferred perches at the forest edge. From here, they make quick sallies to catch flying insects, almost always returning to their usual post. The multi-layered Bornean rainforest is a stunning sight. Epiphytes, like ferns, grow directly on the tree trunks as they enrich the green shades of the canopy. Oriental pied hornbills patiently look for food amongst the lush greens. And Malaysian blue flycatchers add sparkles of bright blue to this rainforest. Dipterocarp trees dominate the skyline here. Most of these reach heights of at least 24 to 36 meters, but a few of the emergent giant trees tower above at 65 meters or more. One such mega tree hides a fantastic bird of striking features. Despite being a large-sized bird, it is barely visible so high up in the canopy. The rhinoceros hornbill has a remarkable orange casque on its head, which acts like a perfect counterweight, as the hornbill takes time to preen itself and clean its wings from a lofty and awkward position. Finding food is not a problem here either, for amongst this high canopy is one of the hornbill's favorite trees, and it is already laden with tiny and tasty fruits. A strangling fig has quite literally grown into its host tree, and it has successfully matured to produce a bounty of tasty figs. Between bouts of preening sessions, the hornbill casts a careful eye on what else is going on both in and around the highly prized treetop. Different species of small birds hide deep in the foliage as they gorge on the abundant food. Bornean gibbons have also joined this high-flying feeding buffet. The primate's long arms reach out for every available fig in the vicinity with great ease. The hornbill is mesmerized by all this activity, but perhaps it is also thinking that time would be better spent feeding on the figs. For given the high amount of competition here, the fruits may not last for long. Fortunately, this massive tree has various branches. The hornbill goes up higher into the canopy and searches for those tasty figs. Preening can wait for now. This is the time to fill up on some good food. High elevation montane forests are also home to some special and endemic species in Borneo. In the open, brightly colored flower peckers flit about in the trees. But deeper, in the misty mountain foliage, is another rare pheasant only found in Borneo. This is the bulbus pheasant, and it is also very secretive and shy. Unlike the Bornean peacock pheasant, however, this beautiful male is not traveling alone. A female bulbus pheasant pops up behind him. And soon, another female appears. This male is in his prime, and his brilliant plumage and striking good looks have allowed him to attract many females. Before long, they all appear alongside him. As the pheasants feed peacefully inside the deep montane forest, their quiet presence also invites a mix of other species into a quick feeding frenzy. However, if there is even a small disturbance, it's all over and the highly alert birds quickly escape into the dark forest. Deep in the lowlands, there are more delights to be found on the forest floor. In the rare sunlight that penetrates the thick foliage, the feathers of this stunning ground-dwelling bird take on another range of colors. With those special crests and those funky colors, This nomadic party of Bornean crested firebacks would not be out of place at a rainforest folk dance festival. In the brightest light, their colors dazzle. Males have electric blue bare skin patches that can extend during their display dances. Despite their extravagant colors, these are very shy birds and are easily spooked by any sudden movements. Although a productive feeding ground will draw them back, as they need to consume a lot of food for their wide-ranging travels through the rainforest. There is something very primeval about the appearance of these birds. As they move around, it is not hard to imagine them as small dinosaurs from a very distant past. The long legs of these birds allow them to roam large distances in their search for food, and they are also useful tools for digging out any hidden seeds and fruits on the forest floor. Females have mottled coloration, and their rusty plumage helps them camouflage against the brown shades of the tree trunks and the fallen leaves. In this little patch of forest, they try and find as much food as possible before moving on to another place. After a quick feeding session, the firebacks disappear in a flash. Several smaller-sized colourful birds could go unnoticed inside the deepest parts of the forest. A male, white-morphed paradise flycatcher flaunts his fairy-like plumage. This is a perfect habitat for a range of different species of flycatchers, as the abundance of thin branches and vines make excellent perching spots for them, as they keep a lookout for insects and worms. Unlike the pheasants and the firebacks, the flycatchers, like this Dayak blue flycatcher, can stay still and wait on the same perches for very long periods of time. The yellow-bellied bulbul is an attractive member of the bulbul family that also loves to look for food amongst the branches in the deep rainforest. This bird can also sit still for long periods of time, carefully observing what other species are up to. A good and sturdy perch allows this bulbul to look for insects and worms on the ground. And once it spots a suitable prey, it dives right down. After gobbling the worms up, it stays a little longer to see what else is available. But this bird knows that an aerial spot makes an excellent lookout. So shortly after, it returns to a higher observation post again. Partridges are another group of birds that have evolved to live on the forest floor. Unlike the firebacks, they have small, stout bodies, and they use their short legs to move the forest litter with great efficiency. With their distinct rusty colors, it is obvious why they are called red-breasted partridges. However, these birds are also known as Bornean partridges, as they are only found in Borneo. While the males and females of this species have very similar colors with only a few subtle differences, the next species of partridge coming up have very distinct color differences between the sexes. Crested partridges are very small and quick ground-dwelling birds, and they offer a stunning mix of colors on the forest floor. The male has a glossy blue-black body adorned by a really fancy red crest. While the female is a mossy green with cinnamon brown wings. The colors of these birds are so distinct that if you saw these two separately, you may think that they belong to different species. But both sexes have a bright red ring around their eyes, a rare trait that they have in common. These partridges are found in wet forest habitat, where they quietly forage for food on the ground. Despite their colorful appearance, they surprisingly can be very difficult to spot unless you know their habits. Usually, these birds travel together in pairs or very small groups, but every now and then, a group of astounding numbers can suddenly appear in the forest. An abundance of food has attracted a crowd of these charming birds as they excitedly run around and swing their fluffy tails. A beautiful sight only possible in the wonderful rainforest of Borneo. Our gateway to Borneo was the port of Kota Kinabalu, located in the state of Sabah in Malaysian Borneo. We crisscrossed the state, visiting a number of reserves and hides to find the colorful wonders shown in this film. We were awed by the rugged landscape and lush vegetation as we made our way towards the location of our most sought-after species, the Bornean peacock-pheasant. Remote and steep mountain paths are currently the only way to see this rare and endangered bird. The muddy rainforest is also home to a high diversity of wonderful species that slowed our ascent. Despite the distractions, we had to carry on our path. This was a land encased in the morning mist, and there were gushing rivers that we had to navigate as we cut through the montane forest. Eventually, we reached the remote heights strategically designed by the local community of Bestaria village to help visitors see the stunning bird. After a long wait, the Bornean peacock pheasant finally showed up, and it was well worth the mud and effort. A lot of the birds, like the Rhinoceros hornbill, stay in the high canopy, so filming them, even in highly protected forest reserves like Taramakot, proved very tough. The Crocker Range Mountains near Tambunan was the location of another superb hide, carefully constructed by Mr. C.P. Song, where we were also able to film many secretive forest birds.